Willie D Live.
What's up, family? It's the moment we've all been waiting for. The smoking gun in the Jeffrey Epstein suicide. The feds has produced video evidence showing Jeffrey Epstein offing himself. I'm going to play the video. You leave a comment and I'll come right back with mine. Okay, what do you think? Give me a thumbs up if you believe that was Jeffrey Epstein in that video. Thumbs down if you say, nah, man, I ain't falling for the banana in the tailpipe. I'll give you a few moments to think about it. Okay, time's up. Y'all know damn well that ain't Jeffrey Epstein. And even if it was, it would not be Jeffrey Epstein. It would be AI. Yeah, man. Looks like to me the DOJ is over there playing around with AI trying to see what it can get away with. Yeah, somebody's playing with AI. Look, the DOJ put it on their website and just as quickly took it down. Why would they do that? This is what we've all been waiting for. You know, Trump would have been like, look, he was right here, he killed himself. Now can we just get past that part? Nah, man, we can't get past it because we know that man didn't kill himself. We know he was murdered. We know it was an inside job. He was on 24-hour suicide watch and he ends up dead. Nah, man. And if that happened like that for real, why didn't anybody get punished? Nobody lost their job. Nobody went to jail. Nobody was charged. Somebody gotta be responsible for that man dying if he killed himself. Otherwise, what is the use of putting a high-risk inmate on suicide watch if you're not going to watch him try to commit suicide, or you're not going to be there just in case he tries to commit suicide? It does not make any sense. And I'll tell you something else that don't make any sense. There's a skip in the video footage at the exact same time that they say that Jeffrey Epstein had a window to kill himself. And by the way, coincidentally, the guards were not on post at the time that he killed himself. They walked away from that desk. It's almost like everybody got the signal, let's go. And you can see the guards walking away, getting out of the way. It's almost as if, okay, now we're going to bring in the hitters to do what they got to do. So, look, and you know how this stuff go, fam. It ain't hard to do. You can have your supervisor come in. The supervisor can say, look, I'm going to need you to stand down, look at this time. But wait a minute, I'm supposed to be on duty. Look, well, who's going to cover for me? Hey, don't worry about that. We got it covered. But I need you to go over there and stay there and don't come out to that room until I tell you to, right? Or they may come in with the big boys and the big boys tell the supervisors and everybody else, okay, get lost, move around. We got it from here. They come in and do what they got to do. You didn't see nothing, you didn't hear anything. And keep on moving. That's how I go. Jeffrey Epstein didn't kill himself. And the interest that people have in this case isn't that they care anything about Jeffrey Epstein, like he get what he get, a pedo gets what he get, right? But to use Jeffrey Epstein as the fall guy while other guys who were involved gets to walk away scot-free. They gets to use Jeffrey Epstein as a shield, basically, as a buffer, so that they can circumvent being held accountable. That's what people are saying. No, we're not falling for that. That man was murdered and y'all trying to cover it up. If it's not a cover-up, What's the holdup on the files? Why so much redacting? Why? If it's not a cover-up. If it's not a cover-up, everybody in those files should be exposed, except the victims. You can redact the victims' faces and their names, but everybody else needs to be exposed. And let's do a process of elimination. Let's go one by one by one. What did you know? Everybody get a talk good. I'm sure they've spoken to everybody that they could identify in those photos. Yo, what did you see? What did you see? I guarantee you every last one of them has had a visit from the FBI. What did you see? What did you know? Did you see Trump? And if you saw Trump doing something, something gonna happen to you. I do believe, like if you say you saw Trump doing something, yeah, because they got the cut, you know what I'm saying? They gonna, hey, yeah, that's how that go. That's how that go. I do not believe that Jeffrey Epstein killed himself. I do believe that there's something more cynical that took place, and that's hard to be more cynical than him because he was the worst of the worst. He one of those dudes like this other dude that we know who uses his power and his influence and his money to circumvent the law, to do whatever he want to do and get himself off the hook when it happens. And this is another reason why I know Jeffrey Epstein didn't kill himself, because Jeffrey Epstein was a billionaire. And all of his life, he's used his money to get him out of jams. He's used his money to protect him. And he hadn't been convicted. He hadn't been sentenced. Why would he kill himself? That makes no sense. He's used his money his entire life to get off, to get by, to get over. Why all of a sudden would he stop doing that? He's been accused. He's been accused before. He's been in jail before. It was no reason at all for him to kill himself. Again, he hadn't been tried. He hadn't been convicted. He hadn't been sentenced. So in his mind, he's going to get off. And that was a good chance. Had he went to trial, he would have gotten off. Because America just don't lock up billionaires. We just don't do that. The billionaire got to be a two-time killer. You got to be a serial killer or something like that. And it's got to be overwhelming evidence. You know, when they point you out, you got to have blood on your hands. You know, the knife still in your hand. And you about to do it again. Man, I can't see it happening any other way. This is America, man. Money ruled everything. This is America. Money trumps everything, even race. Yeah, because keep in mind, it was money that drove them to want to enslave people in the first place. And that the bitterness, the hatred grew over time. You know, that hatred specifically for black people grew over time. But the first thing that came to mind for these uncivilized mutts was, we gonna build this thing up. We need to build the land up, and we too lazy to do it, or we too incompetent to do it. We gonna get somebody else to do it. We gonna get them to do it. We gonna sit on our lazy asses, and we're going to get them to do it. And guess what? And when it's all said and done, and after they build everything up, we're going to call them the lazy ones. We're going to say that they're lazy. We're going to put it out there that they're lazy. You know, we're going to put it out there that they're afraid to work, that they don't have a good work ethic. And we're the ones who sat on our asses on the porch and drank lemonade and hurled out instructions, and we're the ones who just jumped on the horse and rode around with the guns and watched everybody else work and beat them with sticks and chains and whips. Yeah. Isn't it amazing how they did that? I know I'm getting off script a little bit, fam, but it bugs the hell out of me how they created that narrative and still run with it to this day. It's absolutely amazing. But anyway, getting back on script, I don't believe it. I absolutely don't believe that that man killed himself. And it's time, and I'm actually a little proud of Americans this time around, because typically you can tell an American any damn thing and they'll believe anything the government says. And I mean, anything, any type of narrative they put out there, Americans just jump right on it and just believe it. They don't have no type of investigation skills. They ain't got no type of critical thinking. The government just tell them something, or one of those representatives, one of those politicians that's representing their district, their state or whatever, tell them something and they just take it straight to the bank without question. They just believe any damn thing. But it seems that people are now waking up, and just spinning the story ain't good enough anymore. Because you know what busted wide open, fam? Social media, YouTube, blogs. See, now ABC, CBS, NBC, Fox, they ain't CNN. They don't have a lock on the information anymore. Right? Anybody with a camera, anybody with a phone can just bam, just like that, and put that information out there or debunk that information. And that's what they really, really hate. They really hate that they can't control the narrative like they used to. And I do foresee something being done about that. I think some kind of way they're going to try to figure out a way to like consolidate the information. They're going to try to figure that out, like consolidate that information, try to buy out all the podcasters, try to buy out all of the bloggers. They're going to try to buy those sites like Gossip and World Star and Shade Room. They're going to try to offer major money to buy that stuff out. And as new ones try to pop up, they're going to come in and try to buy those too, to minimize their power and their reach. Watch, I can guarantee it's going to happen. But what say you? Drop a comment. I'd love to hear your thoughts. No more talk.